during these dark days, I have found myself up in the middle of the night a lot. And I like that. I like to be in the house when it's dark and everybody's asleep. And I looked out the window and, you know, just check out all the fog. But what woke me up was that I woke up with like this moment of remembrance. And it was like I woke up with an inspiration, like someone or something had just tapped me on the shoulder and somewhere in the dream world said, remember this thing? And so as I was traipsing around or sitting in the house between the wee hours, I started thinking about inspiration. And inspiration comes from many places, and she has many names. And she's called the Muse, she's called the White Goddess, she's called Awen, she is called Kundalini Shakti. And behind everything that's ever been created lies this great goddess. For whether, and lots of times what happens for us is that we think about creativity and we're like, oh, I'm not a creative person. You guys saw me handing off a guitar to a friend, and I walked in this morning to my basic with it, and my basics class thought I was going to like play music for them, and they were like, oh, and I'm like, I don't know how to do that instrument. But we tend to think like, oh, I'm not an artist, I'm not creative. But everything that has ever been manifested has come from this muse. And so it might be for you, we've got a couple of artists in the room, it might be for them, it might manifest in great pieces of art. There may be writers in the room, but it doesn't have to look like that. It's problem solving. It is the imagination, it is all the things that are in these dreamy realms of where we are right now in the season of the year. And so in the practice of yoga, we think about this creative life force as the name Kundalini Shakti. Shakti always is the divine feminine and its power. And the Kundalini Shakti, in some philosophies of yoga, the story is that she is dormant in us, and through austerities and practices and such that she will awaken. Well, this isn't the viewpoint from where I've been taught, learned, and practiced. The viewpoint is you would have never been able to get through your life for 1 minute if she wasn't already awake within you. And so what we have is going through the practices that we're actually sort of stirring up her nest a little bit more. For she's often depicted as a snake that lays dormant in the belly or really deep down in the pelvis, and that when she is awakened, then she travels, she undulates up the spine and through and wakens and opens up all the chakras. Well, she's always awake, but as we know, sometimes we're more creative than others. Sometimes the muse is elusive, and sometimes she puts us on fire. And she holds within her all of these elements. Inspire the air, to breathe. Awen comes from the idea of a breeze, but it also means water, to flow. And fire, like when we're on fire with creativity. And then also the fact that eventually something manifests, that is the earth property within her. So she holds all of these 4 properties, and she is the great, great goddess who sits in the center of all things, including right in the center, your creative center. So today we're going to be in these realms. We'll see if we can stir up the snakes a little bit.